Greetings, I'm Andy Johnson. I am the Faculty Association Vice President here at Minnesota State University, Mankato. This is a short, well, not real short, but kind of short video describing the IFO contract, department processes, and policies. It's done to try to prevent or reduce a lot of problems, including problems related to microaggression, bullying, and harassment. It has been my observation that a lot of the problems, including microaggression and bullying, are due to inadequacies in the processes departments use to make decisions. These contribute to a lot of problems. And the best way to solve a problem is to prevent them from happening. And the IFO contract does give us some guidelines here. So this video will look at three things, and let's start with the contract. The department faculty shall establish annually or more frequently as appropriate through a democratic process department goals, objectives, policies, procedures, and teaching and other work schedules. Every year, this needs to be reviewed. Department policies and procedures, that is bylaws that describes how the department functions and makes decisions. This is not a suggestion. The department shall. And that includes making decisions about teaching assignments and other work schedules. Shall use a democratic process. Democratic process is not simply majority rules. It's a set of checks and balances so no single voice or view dominates and all voices and views are heard. And you might want to use some form of Robert's Rules of Order that provides this check and balances. And there's a lot of different forms. Even Robert's Rules of Orders has different forms. All department recommendations, all must be reviewed and approved by the department's faculty and forwarded to the dean or administration. That includes recommendations related to the teaching schedule. The department merely recommends teaching load and schedule to the dean. The dean is the supervisor. The dean makes the final decision. All department recommendations must be reviewed and approved by the department faculty. The dean is the supervisor. The department, not the chair or a few senior faculty, shall establish the department teaching and other work schedules, department policies and procedures, department goals and objectives. The department, all members of that department. Three common mistakes or assumptions related to the IFO contract, and we're going to unpack each one of these. First, the chair is not a mini dean. The chair is not an administrative position. The chair is a representative position. You represent the department. The chair provides academic and administrative coordination, fosters an environment. The chair coordinates the activities of the department through a process of regular consultation. That process is called a department meeting. Regular consultation with all members of the department. The chair coordinates within a department with respect to department rights and functions as described in Section A, Department Rights and Functions. The chair coordinates. The chair is not an administrative position or administrator. The chair forwards recommendations of the department to the dean or administration on decisions related to tenure, promotion, and non-renewal. The department merely votes to recommend these things. Merely votes to recommend, but they are not the decision makers. What does Appendix E say about the department chair? The department chair acts on behalf of the department, represents the department. Let's look at the action words. Develops, coordinates, facilitates, prepares, orients, supports. It does these things. It does not The chair position. The chair does not administrate, manage, control, supervise, take charge, or make unilateral decisions. Merely represents the department and facilitates things. The second mistaken assumption, people use the term junior faculty and senior faculty. All faculty members are equal. There are no junior and senior faculty under the IFO contract. There are only faculty. That means an experienced, fully promoted, tenured full professor is the same in the eyes of the contract as a newly hired assistant tenure track professor. There's no difference. All have equal influence. All have a similar vote within the department. So if you're a long-term faculty member, you must divest yourself of certain notions or mindsets. New arrivals are not to be controlled. Your insights are not more important than new faculty's. Things don't always have to be as they've been. That's how we change and evolve. This idea that short-term faculty must earn tenure before their voices and views are relevant, you have to dismiss that idea. That's not how it works. And this idea that short-term faculty should be seen and not heard, divest yourself of that notion. That's not in our contract. The third mistaken assumption is that the PDP PDR process is a mentoring process. It's not a controlling or filtering process. Some people use this process to control or filter, to make sure that you only, you throw the spaghetti on the wall and you see which stuff sticks through the PDR process. That's not how it works. That is bullying. Using the PDR and the PDP to control or manipulate is bullying. You're using your alleged power to control or manipulate. The process, the PDP process, PDR process, is designed to take the mystery out of tenure and promotion. If you meet the terms of the contract, the tenure and promotion is guaranteed. There should be no mystery there. The process, however, is reliant on writing and approving clear, concise, precise objectives. And the department approves these objectives. That's what the PDP is. The plan is. You submit a plan. Your objectives are approved, and then you go out and demonstrate that you have met those objectives. As well, ambiguity is not the friend of anybody. You have to be specific. Department feedback should be given on each objective. That's why it's important to have clear, concise, precise objectives. I'll be talking about that in another video. But for each objective, you should say met, partially met, or not met. Again, the department faculty approves the objectives, and then the faculty goes out and meets the objectives. The faculty approves the objectives, and then the faculty member demonstrates that they have met that objective. The department approves. So if your objectives have been approved, and if you meet them each year, that there should be no question about tenure and promotion. That's why it's important to have clear, precise objectives. Ambiguity is not our friend here. So let's take a look at processes. It's all about the process. As I stated, every year the department must review and approve the policies and procedures. These are bylaws used for that department. And we should see that approval in your meeting minutes, which we should see a motion, a second, and a vote. All decisions related to course load are to come before the department for a discussion and a vote. And again, we should see in meeting minutes, motion, second, and vote. Current decisions should not be based on old department policies unless that policy has been revisited, voted on, and approved at the beginning of each year. Some members weren't here when that policy was approved. So each year, again, we must see in your meeting minutes that occurs. The role of the chair is to chair. The department chair chairs meetings. You facilitate. That means you use some process. You call, you recognize people to ensure that all voices are heard. Long-term faculty must not use the process, PDP, PDR, or other means to manipulate, control, or intimidate the votes of other members. Something like, I'll be reviewing your PDR, or something like, I'll be voting on tenure or promotion, even imply that is bullying and harassment, using alleged power to try to control or manipulate. Should not be used. Number 6, careful meeting minutes must be taken. And I would recommend using the administrative assistant to do this. We should see a record of motions, seconds, and votes. That is your record that your department made these things. Now, the IFO contract doesn't say anything explicitly about meeting minutes, but it does say things about the department approving of things, and this is your record that you have a set of policies and procedures, democratic processes, and you are following them. So this is your record that you have done these things, and we should see them. For each meeting, you should have annual records of these things. Number 7 is not in the IFO contract, but it's good meeting advice. The agenda should be set out in advance of the meeting. There should be no mystery. We should know what the problems or topics or discussion are so we can prepare for them ahead of time, so we make good decisions and have well-informed discussions. Meetings are a shared conversational space. They don't belong to the chair or any one member. There should be a pie chart in your head of who is taking up most of the conversation, and hopefully that is equal. No single faculty, including the chair, should be eating all the pie. And that's the job of the chair, to facilitate that conversation, to make sure. That's why if you have larger meetings, you have to recognize people to speak. And if you have smaller meetings, it's the job of the chair to make sure. We haven't heard from you. Let's hear what you have to say. And if the role of a meeting, number 9, is to not to have the meeting. Effective meetings are used to have discussions that lead to decisions and problem solvings. It's not the place to transmit information. That's what memos and emails are for. And by the way, using it to transmit, to tell, that's a form of control. That's using that conversational space. That's not what a meeting is for. It should be used to have discussions that lead to decisions and problem solving.